Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome back to the shop. My favorite project's working on the floor. If you work on the floor, parts don't fall very far. It's hard for them to escape. Also, you don't tear them up if they do fall. So, I'm working on this little gearbox here. It's got a shaft broken off in it, but they all need rebuilt because the shafts are loose in them. You can see that end play maybe. So, we gotta do something about this. I've disassembled some of this. Some of it was already pre-disassembled just to see if this was gonna be something worth fixing. Looks like it's gonna be okay. So what I need to do is get all this stuff knocked apart. Some of it's pretty easy. Gotta get those races out, seals out. These bearings all pressed off. But I think for now, I'm gonna work on getting this other gearbox apart. Now I got this part, you can probably see why we're here. There's a end of a keyway right here, and that stress concentration wound up being the spot for the crack to start, and it twisted this shaft off. So that's why we're here, put a new shaft in, and these bearings are bad. So I'll get this all pressed apart, these races pulled out. I'll do the weld inside to get them out. Standard procedure. And press these others off. So I'll get this over to the press and get it the rest of the way down and take this stuff out to the gas vat and get it cleaned up, and I'll bring you back. Well, I got it all cleaned up, so let's take a look at what we got, I guess. New Holland. I think it was it New Holland or New Idea? I don't remember. Either one. A gearbox I repaired last year that had that bearing support in the center. I could learn with seeing how it's done properly. This that's a whole lot better deal. Much more beefy. It's rounded all the way. Good support. It's not a long ways from the bearing face to the other bearing, so there's a limited amount of torque. And got nice big beefy gears. This top plate has the peg that this pivots on. So let's go back on top. All this is top box stuff. Those are shims to adjust the gear lash and the bearing preload. That's the other two input covers. And that one is the bottom. That's the other gear for the bottom shaft. The broken shaft came out. It's the other box. Again, I've got the new bearing in there already. Welded up the old one and got it out. Because again, blind hole, so no real easy way to get it out short of doing something like that. but we've got it cleaned up. I'll hit it one more time before I go to final assembly. And then we've got the rest of the bottom box. That'd be the output shaft, which the gear is flipped from that one, I think, or something. I guess it's made of the other gear that's different. It's out and the other one's in. So the way they got this set up, I believe the output rotation is the same as the input rotation. Spacers, unbroken shaft, and the two midship bearing housings. Welded the races up, got them out, got the old seals out. This one top to the bottom box has a grease fitting in it and a breather plug. It's kind of interesting. They feel like it doesn't get enough lube to here from just regular slinging around. It needs greased. I find it interesting that it doesn't thrash enough to keep enough lube up there to keep that going, but I guess it must have been a problem, so they went back and probably revised it. These shims go on the ends along with the snap rings. This whole shaft is built up and captured, caged, I guess, so that it can maintain the preload on the bearings regardless of the space the boxes are apart from each other. So I'm gonna do a little more prep and get ready to assemble this stuff, and I'll bring you back. Alright, so next thing I'm gonna do is knock these bearing races in the center section. Sand it down. That's it. We're running out of gas. Yeah, it went a lot easier. Next up is put this gear on, but if you can see, if it focus, there's fretting damage down the bottom of that bore. So I'm going to have to go in there and clean that out. So this will slide on the shaft like it should. So, when get that done, I'll bring you back. Start with the way it was when it came to me, although this has already been apart, so I don't know whether that'll be right. May have to go back and adjust again, but we'll start here. So I guess let me get this stuffed up into the box. Should go this way. Well, I would say probably at least half of these shims belong underneath here, so I'm going to take that back apart. I'm going to say there's too many shims on there. This bearing spacer's still loose. Not by much. Probably needs 20 thou out of it, maybe. Of course, I still got to replace this bearing race, I guess, first before I get that far, but I need to see where I'm at here on this tooth engagement. So, let me get the bearings pressed on this piece, and we'll come back and give that a try. Okay, so I've got the lower shaft in and the side in. I'm liking that Backlash, sounds good. Got the new bearings on this shaft, snap rings on, and I got the bearing preload set, and this bushing's no longer loose in here. It's holding the gear in place so none of this stuff walks around, and got just a very little bit of preload, pretty much nothing, rolls super easy. So let me see about getting this cover plate on and get this shimmed up right, and let's have this box together. Well, there's one box done. So turns like it's supposed to. The bevel gears are A little noisy there somewhere in this thing. It's got thousands of acres of use on it, but should be good to go. I don't have any play in either of the shafts, so shouldn't be walking in and out. These seals ought to hold. So next thing for me to do is get that box set over on here. So it means I need to get the other gear and key and start getting this put together. These two boxes tied together is a pain in the ass. It's a bit close. And I guess we'll just have to see. Well, that's it. Just swivel gearboxes together. Well, the whole purpose of this thing is to be able to transmit power regardless of which way the tractor's turned to the implement with no knocking. CV joints are limited to 80 degrees, but this thing, you know, besides the fact you cut the shaft off, you can go well past 270 and never have any knocking or U-joint issues. You can transmit the power regardless of how it's turned. That's why the output and the input match each other. No difference in speed or turns. Turns the same direction, same way in, same way out. So it means I got the box put back together right. Essentially, it's just like rebuilding two gearboxes with the added twist of them being coupled together, which makes it a bit more challenging since there's only one, or there's one common shaft and it has to be adjusted bearing preload for both at the same time. So takes a lot of trial and error mocking up to get it all just the way it should be on setting all these shins, but I've got this one in good shape. It was all pretty loose, pretty worn to begin with. This thing's got a lot of acres on it, and it's mainly obsolete components. Most of this you can't get anymore, so put it back together as good as it can get, and maybe it'll get some more life out of this thing. If they get another 20 years, I'm sure it'll be tickled to death. So this thing's probably 40 years old now. I think it dates to the 80s sometime, I'm pretty sure, maybe the 70s. But that's gonna do it. Inspector has come to be sure the job is up to standards. So, got just a little backlash on both. So, and the bearing preload's good. Don't have any rock. So, this job's ready to be shipped. Get some more dog treats. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll catch y'all later.